Hi guys, sorry, I had to record this into two different parts. Okay, so hopefully after watching that brain pop, you had an understanding of how fact families relate to each other and how we can use fact families to help us solve different addition and subtraction problems. Um, one, one thing that they didn't mention in the brain pop was something that we called part total when we first learned about fact families. And I want to explain to you what that means. So you're going to be working on three different fact family activities today. And I want to start by doing one of them with you. So the first one I'm going to do with you is this one that's called fact families, okay? So I'm going to open it up. And I'm going to take a look at the template that I'm going to be adding on. Okay, so you can see that in this template, there are no numbers. You have to come up with the fact family all by yourself. So I'm going to show you an example of a fact family, and when you do this, I want you to do a different fact family. Okay, so I think I'm going to start out with the two bottom numbers. Now you might remember when we learned about fact families, we called these two bottom numbers the parts, and then the top of the triangle we called the total. Anytime you want to create your own fact family, it's always easiest to come up with the parts first because you can use any two parts to create a whole, okay? So I'm just going to think off the top of my head what I want for my parts. I'm going to press the T for text tool. Oops. And I'm going to write 3 for one of my parts. Sorry, just trying to move it. All right, you know what? It's a little bit harder on my computer to do that, so here we go. Okay, so here's my first part, 3. Then I'm going to create my second part, and I'm going to make my second part 9. Make it a little smaller. Okay, so now I have my parts, 9 and 3. Now I know you guys are really good at using the text tool, so if you want to make them more the same size, you can. But you get the idea that basically my two parts are down here. So like I said, now that I know what my parts are, I can very easily come up with my total. How will I come up with my total? If you're not sure, I'll tell you. The way that you come up with your total is by adding the two parts together, okay? So what I have to do is add 9 plus 3. So if I don't know what 9 plus 3 is, I'm going to start with my bigger number. I'm going to scoop up 9, and then I'm going to count on and add 3 more. So scoop up 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so I scooped up 9, I added 3, and I got 12. Now I have my total number. My total number is 12, and that is what's going to be at the top of my triangle. Okay, so now I have my fact family, 9, 3, and 12. I have my two parts, 9 and 3, and I have my total, 12. Now, my next step is I have to fill in all of these blank number sentences with my fact family numbers. Remember, you have to think about the fact that you can only use these 3 numbers in all of your number sentences. So I can't say 12 plus 9 equals something else because then I'm going to leave out my 3. And I can't say 9 minus 3 equals 6 because then I'm leaving out my 12. So we have to be really, really mindful about only including these 3 numbers. Okay, so for this one, I'm just going to use one of my writing tools. And addition usually is the easiest part. Writing these addition sentences is pretty easy because when we're doing the addition sentences, just like you saw in Brain Pop, we're just adding the two parts to get the total. So I'm going to take my first part, 9. I'm going to add my second part, 3. And we know that when we add 9 and 3 together, our answer is 12. Okay, so there's my first number sentence. 9 plus 3 equals 12. I'm going to switch to a different writing tool because I don't really love the highlighter for that. Okay, now remember, when we're adding numbers together, the order of the numbers does not matter, meaning the order that you add the parts doesn't matter. So whether I say 9 plus 3 equals 12 or 3 plus 9 equals 12, it doesn't matter because we're still adding the same numbers. We're just adding them in a different order. Okay, so now I have my two addition sentences. 9 plus 3 equals 12. Did I use all three numbers in my fact family? I did. 3 plus 9 equals 12. Did I use all three numbers in my fact family? I did. Okay, now on to the subtraction sentence. Now, Annie said when she was explaining the subtraction sentence that you always start with the biggest number when you're doing the subtraction sentences. That's true. But another way to say it is that we always start with the total. The total is always going to be our biggest number. It's always going to be the number at the top of the triangle. The reason that we start with our total number or our biggest number is that when you're subtracting, you always want to start with the biggest number that you have to make sure that you include all of the numbers in the fact family. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to start both of these number sentences with 12, just to remind myself that I know for sure that my subtraction sentences are going to start with my total number, and that's 12. Now, all I have to do is plug in my other numbers. So I know that if I do 12 minus 3 or 12 take away 3, my answer is 9. And I know that if I do 12 minus 9 or 12 take away 9, my answer is going to be 3. Okay? So it's pretty simple, but also there are a lot of steps and there's a lot of really easy ways to make mistakes when we're doing fact families. So I want you to really go slow, and if you need to watch this video even more than one time, that's totally fine. You can. Also, I want you to think about really challenging yourself. I don't want anybody to do 1 plus 1 equals 2. And in fact, I actually don't want anybody to do any doubles facts, because when you're doing doubles facts, like for example, if I did 4 plus 4 equals 8, you're not really writing 4 different number sentences because you're only really actually working with 2 numbers. I mean, you're working with 3, but 2 of them are the same. So I want you to try and really stay away from doubles facts when you're doing this. Okay. So this is the first activity. Like I said, you're going to come up with your own fact family. Start with your parts. You can do any 2 numbers and then just add them together to get your total. Okay. Next, we have another activity that's called Fact Families Addition and Subtraction. This is actually a game. So you're going to need your 2 dice from your math toolkit. Or if you have extra dice somewhere else, that's fine too. It is a game, but you're going to play it by yourself. So what you're going to do is you're going to roll the dice, and whatever you roll, one of the dice is going to be one of your parts, and the other die is going to be your other part. So let's say, for example, this one, they showed that they rolled a 6 and a 2. Okay, so I automatically know that my 2 parts are going to be 6 and 2. In fact, let me edit this for you. Sure. Sorry, guys, my internet's a little slow. Okay, actually, let's just do it this way because I think you'll understand. Okay, so you're going to roll the 2 dice. One of those numbers that you roll is going to be one of your parts, and the other number is going to be your other part. So like I said, let's say I rolled a 6 and a 2. 6 is going to go in one of my part spots, and 2 is going to go in the other one. So these 2 bottom pieces. Then what do I have to do? I have to find my total number. So I'm going to add 6 and 2 together. I'm going to scoop up 6, my bigger number, 6, and then add on 2, 7, 8. So I know that my total number is 8. And now I have my fact family, 6, 2, and 8. After I have my fact family, I'm going to go plug those numbers into my 4-number sentences. Okay, so really you only have to roll your dice one time, add the 2 numbers together. Each number is going to be one of your parts, and when you add them together, it's going to be your total. And then write in the number sentences just the way we practiced before. Okay, and then lastly, we have one more activity that is called Fact Families Addition and Subtraction. For this one, they're a little different. We still have our triangles, but they kind of made them look like houses, because sometimes they do that with fact families, just because when you think about families and a house, sometimes people use this shape to help you understand them. So for this one, they already give you the fact families, okay? So you can look at the top, like the roof of the house. This is basically your fact triangle. So for this one, my 2 parts are 8 and 4, and my total is 12. For this one, my 2 parts are 9 and 5, and my total is 14. You're going to go ahead for each of these and fill in the number sentences with the fact families that they give you. Okay, and that's it for today. So I hope that getting this refresher on fact families helped you. If you need any help, just send me an email or a message on Seesaw, and I will be happy to help you again. Like I said, if you need to watch this video more than once, definitely feel free to do that. All right, I will see you later. Bye.